Okay, here we are, day 3, our Swagger Up Challenge. Oh my goodness, we have had an incredible program. My goodness gracious. And this has been such an extraordinary opportunity to live into our future self and swagger it up, swagger her up, because you know what? She needs some swaggering, right? As we all do. Thank you again for being here. I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of C-Suite Networks Women's Coaching Consulting Council. Hey, I'm an advocate and an ally and a sponsor and a supporter of all things women and women in business. And I love the men too, and I love the children and the families and love everybody. But I have a special place in my heart for women who are ambitious and want to do big things. Okay, so if you're here, that means you, right? You are here doing big things. So thank you for making the time. So reminding ourselves that, hey, it is your time. It's your time right now. It's our great privilege and opportunity. We get to step into a beautiful future and a future by design. Okay. And so many times, how many of you resonate with? I have personally, I've lived in the past of things, beliefs, and ideas about what I could have done, what I should have done, and living in the past about old limitations, but also living in the past about past victories and celebrations. But today's a line in the sand for us to be able to go forward and create a future self that literally is the most powerful, authentic, beautiful, healthy, vibrant, alive version of yourself. And we get to activate her today. So thank you. Thank you for being here. So exciting. And just a quick little recap. And ladies, I've already had a call today. We had the Women's Success Circle at 10 a.m. Central, and it was all about doing a reset. So today's topic is such a beautiful continuation. So I'm going to lean on you a little bit here to do a little bit of reading, if you will. Anybody feeling a little, been doing a lot of talking this week and speaking and being out there in the world? Carol, I know you were at an NSA meeting, so I know you were a National Speakers Association. You were talking and connecting and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Susan, mixing it up. Yeah, yeah, very good. Would someone like to read What is Success Swagger? I want to get you right in on this. Thanks. And then it's a not so obvious, but a little mischievous way for me to save my throat with a little throat lozenge.
You got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be happy to.
Yeah,
What
thank you.
is
And we've got
six?
plenty of things. Yeah, jump in. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
What is success swagger? The confidence, alignment of mindset, movement, positioning, and message that magnetizes success. Swagger isn't arrogance or performance, it's energetic authenticity in motion.
Thank you. And ladies, you know that I love alliteration. I love alliteration. So the mindset, the movement, the positioning, and the message, getting us all lined up so that we just show up in the world as we truly are, but perhaps a little brighter, a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more alive, right? But always authentic, never the poser. We talked about in the past, we don't want to have the poser problem, right? Where we think we're coming off one way and it's just not how we want to show up in the world. It's not our best self. And there are posers out there. That's kind of a term that the youths use is they're a poser. They're not quite authentic, but that's not who we are. Okay. And it's really authenticity in motion. I love this. And of course, it all happens, as we've talked about, is when your inner conviction matches up with your outer expression and you're strategically aligned. Like people look at you and they say, whoa, she's got this. Whoa, there's something really spectacular about her. Whoa, what is she up to? What is Carol up to? What is Cece up to? What's Susan up to? What's Angela up to? What's Karen up to? It's like, whoa. And so we're magnetizing the opportunities, the business, the clients, the partners, the fun, the aliveness that we truly want. So, curious for you, how many of you would really, really, really love a life where this is happening for you? Give me a little bit of comments or just jump in. Yes, exactly. And
A little
I'm
bit of
curious,
woohoo.
a little bit of woohoo is right on. A little woohoo and a little wow wow. Hey, I'm curious because we're going to get into the planning of this, but what I'm wondering is, how do you think you would show up? What do you think that you would wear or you would say? Or how do you think, you know, to me, I like a lot of color, as you know. I like a lot of vibrancy, a lot of color, maybe sometimes to my detriment, but I like a lot of color. And color keeps me alive and makes me feel great. Music makes me feel really alive and happy. Movement. What is it for you when you think about your authentic future self? Declare, how's she showing up in the world? Jump in. And Angela, we know you're there. Karen, we know that you're there. There's never any pressure to share, but just want to make you, you know, pull you forward if you'd like to share. Jump in.
Okay, I'll go if nobody else. You know, for me, I like color too, but there are days when I want the color to represent what the message is. So where others are like, I always wear one thing, I need variety. And I want the things also to relate seasonally sometimes to what am I feeling at my best in? And also, what is it around me, whether it's music, people, or an environment that really feeds my soul, heart, and mind? Uh, there's always got to be some fun in it. When people start talking about their what would be their walk-on song, I always have a hard time because the stuff I would pick isn't the sort of stuff that most people think should be played at an event. They're wanting something a little more upbeat, and I'm picking a song that I truly adore. And I thought, I don't think anybody would get why I chose that. There's something about the uniqueness of what I like in music that doesn't necessarily feel like walk on music. And I thought, wouldn't it maybe be fun to play that anyway? There's that poke bit that when I think of Angela, I think that's where we align together, darling.
Most of the stuff on my playlist, people will never understand why it's there. I mean, I don't even understand why it's there. I just like it, damn it.
Yeah, I think
But
there's a lot of that, darling. Yes.
it's
Does
interesting. Sorry,
jump in. It doesn't, no, I was going to say, and doesn't the world need more of that, ladies? More of that, more of you,
yeah.
more of you. Angela, please jump in. Yeah, thank you. Susan, we're sparkling for you. We're giving a little sparkle in the, yep, sparkling. Love it.
and,
Yes.
and I wanted to jump in at the right time without cutting Susan off. It's always a bit of
Oh,
a balance that yeah,
oh.
sometimes I even strike the correct balance. Um, but I'm always I don't know what the word is when sighted people start talking about clothes and color and wearing things. And I my goal is that what I'm wearing does not detract from me, because that is not my strong suit. So you really, it's like you want to hide your not strong suits and lead with your strong suits. And I feel like my personality is my strong suit. So if I can just not be a visual distraction and let my personality lead the way, then I feel like I'm somewhere close to where I want to be.
Very, very wise. Very wise. Yes. And Angela, you have such a powerful personality. You really do. And we've had such a joy to get to know you more and celebrate you and see all of your great success. So it's fantastic. You embody that. And I think all of us, I'll just speak for myself. Hey, I wouldn't mind a little buff up on my style every once in a while, or my look, or kind of keeping contemporary with things. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Because don't I think we sometimes dress for ourselves, but also, as you're saying, Angela, we also dress for others so that we're not what we're wearing is not a distraction, but it's aligned with who we are, right? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Thank
if
you.
I had my way about it, we'd all be wearing our barbecue stained T-shirts, and but that's you have to, at least to some you have to conform to the rules of society enough that you're not it's not an undue distraction,
Good
Perfectly said. Yes,
which is a
exactly.
pain
Yes.
in the butt. But hey, you got to do it. What can I say?
And Zoom helps, doesn't it? Zoom really helps.
Oh,
Yeah.
that virtual
Like
background,
from
yeah.
up here. Yeah, exactly. Virtual
Yeah.
background, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
I
Cool.
was
Thank
looking
you.
at I was looking at something with Cece earlier, and I said, okay, make sure you cut it off at this point, because there are things that we want to be able to have the image focus on, and parts of ourself that we don't necessarily want to have, as Angela would say, create a distraction.
That's right.
You do
That's
not
right.
need to see my messy.
Absolutely. For all of us, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Cece, jump in. Your beautiful crystals around you, and
Yeah.
such a sage kind of just calmness around you with wisdom and just this, I would say, just understated power, right?
Oh,
Calm confidence. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes me feel good to have my crystals and my plants and my animals around me, and the demographic of women that I work with are women who are spiritually minded, working in business, whether they're healers, coaches, or whatever. And that's I help them blend their spirituality themselves with their business. So
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh my goodness. And people certainly entrust you for doing that, I'm sure. Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good, good. Carol, do you want to jump in? Anything about your future self? We know that she is regal, beautiful, so well educated, and such a person who's held in such high esteem. That is you amplified, right?
thank you.
with a lot of with a lot of beautiful burgundy colors and beautiful royal colors, right?
Usually, usually. Today I'm in Saturday blah.
Yeah,
But it doesn't look
casual,
blah.
right? Saturday casual. That's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, great, great. How else is you are now moving into gathering and creating groups, bringing executive women together, bringing women together for their visibility, for their power, for their point of view and their strength. What's like the next iteration for where you're going?
I have no idea. It's all an evolution, I have to get
That's right.
through this next 90 days where we are delivering.
Yes.
And so I have been tuned into how people are showing up on their Zoom picture, because that's part of that visibility. And so as I had the first pre-meeting with one of my participants, I said, okay, find about 6 books and put your computer on top of them so we can see your eyes as opposed to you looking down at us like this. And
Great advice and counsel, huh?
yeah, I said, wait, the whole program is about your personal packaging so that you make a good impression when you are interviewing for your next job, or doing a consulting call, whatever it is that you're doing, you need to put yourself out there in your best light. And I said, your best light is not here. So
Right. Sometimes our roots are calling,
yeah,
probably not the best. There's a demographic, sometimes our roots are calling. So yeah, great wisdom, and it certainly, it also can change the whole energy of a call when a person is looking at the camera and they're just vibrant and they're alive and they're looking in, as opposed to kind of down, writing or whatever. There's the tactical stuff, but wow, Great,
Yeah.
great, great, Carol. And
I spent a
Carol,
lot of time looking down writing because you said you say such good things. And so I apologize for that. But
oh,
when
that's
I'm
okay.
looking
Thank
up,
you.
I'm looking at you.
Yes. Thank you. We know that. We know that.
Oh,
And
okay,
how
but
about
when
also,
Kathleen is talking, the camera's focused on her, so it doesn't matter what you're doing, does it?
no, it
Well,
doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, and we're kind of in the gallery mode. Sure. I mean, it's yeah, it's okay. And you know what? When I am on my calls and I'm listening and writing, you know, kind of trading places with you, I'm always heads down. You know, I'm always looking,
yeah.
but I'm not leading the call. So, you know, it's okay. Hey, do you, right? Do you? Yes. And the thing that I also want to mention for all of us and for me as well is your future self. She's a courageous part of you. She's a courageous part of you. She has the courage to speak the truth, particularly when it comes to her clients and her colleagues and wherever she's at in her professional space, the courage to speak the truth and do it appropriately, but have your message be clear and to land so that they can listen and they can hear, right? So, Carol, as you are consulting and counseling and giving advice to your clients, you know, some of it may kind of like, you know, it may kind of come as a pattern interrupt to them, but to have the presence that we're going to talk about here in a moment, to have the presence and the courage to speak that truth is invaluable. Wouldn't you agree, ladies? It takes a certain level of courage to do it and to do it authentically and appropriately. So good. Okay. So part of assignment number one, and by the way, you know, we're going to be going through this in more detail as time progresses. But one of the things is for us to think about creating kind of an archetype. And I'm in process myself of creating this archetype of who is our future self. To really spend some time and, you know, today or in the near future, to be sitting down, and today would be a fabulous day if your weather's not so great outside, just to kind of pour yourself a cup of tea and start to journal and think about who really is your future self. And we want to create almost like an avatar for her. We want to create a picture of her, a vision of her. And you don't have to even technically see her. You know what I'm saying? You can just let's start to see and sense and get the energy of her so that we can begin to embody her. And guess what? She's you. She's you. She's just perhaps a little bit more as we started off today, maybe just a little bit more of something, right? A little bit more of something. And we're going to talk about exactly what that is here in a moment. But it's, you know, the whole purpose of your future self, I believe, is this is not someone different than you currently are. This is not a person who is, you know, radically looks radically different or acts radically different. It's an aspect of yourself, and I really, really, really love this, is your future self is the aspect of you that you can move into easily and be able to lean on her, so to speak, for decisions, for thought processes. And we're going to talk more about when we talk about planning and putting together your quick plan here in a moment. But how do we utilize the future self? Okay. So good. And feel free, questions, comments, you know, just jump right in. But we're going to keep ourselves moving here on our program. So, what I just love about this is it's an opportunity, ladies, for a little bit of a reset. It's an opportunity for us to do a little bit of a reinvention process. And again, as you know, we joke around our women's coaching and consulting council. Hey, no need to run off with the pool boy. No need to run off and get a facelift. No need to run off and buy a Corvette. You know, there's no need to do any sort of radical, crazy things. We can just move into some small changes that are going to make a big difference. Okay, and you know, as a quick run through, remember we talked yesterday about in our day two is a woman with success swagger, you know, your future self. She knows that, hey, she owns the room. This calm confidence that when you walk into a room, you like, hey, I got this, right? You can show up. And these are all attributes that if they resonate with you, great. If they don't, not a problem. But I'm just kind of giving you a little idea of how you can approach your future self and ratchet up your swagger. Okay. And to me, swagger means, hey, success swagger is we're showing up, we're confident, we're competent, we're purposeful, we lead ourselves with power and poise. We bring that sassy moxie, that aspect of you that no one else has. There's such a unique thing about each of you that you get this great privilege to see the uniqueness in others because you've owned your own sassy moxie kind of thing. You also show up with authenticity and presence and living from this certainty of, hey, no matter what, I've got this. Okay. And this aspect of swagger is invaluable. Okay. I know that I'm using this, I've got this in my life. Many of you know that my beloved husband is on a journey with Parkinson's. So, guess what? We're on the journey together. And so, literally, moment by moment, day by day, week by week, month by month, I have to ground myself and evoke my own swagger to say, okay, here's a new thing. We've not seen this before. Okay, I've got this. And also to know that, hey, I'm never alone. You're never alone, ladies. You're never alone. And in our communities, we always invoke our spiritual part of us, our source, our higher power, the divine, whatever that means to you, our crystals, our animals, our beloveds, our family members, our faith, whatever that means to you. But part of all this is none of us have to do this alone. Okay. None of us. And we get this great privilege to lock arms with each other. And what a gift that is. Okay. What a gift. Any comments, questions? I'm feeling that you are agreeing with us because this is how we talk every week. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I just want to point out that my belief is the world is calling for all of this, all of who you are and who you're becoming and the brilliance you bring to the world's calling for you. And we just need to get you in the right alignment. We need to get everything in the right downstream, so to speak, so that you have more ease in your life, more income in your life, more impact in your life. Okay. The world wants what you have to deliver. Okay. And that can be as simple as meeting with clients or patients or people in your life and just bringing a little bit of extra kindness or compassion without losing the kindness and compassion for yourself, but having the capacity to be able to show up in the times where you need to show up, right? And never doing it from a place of, hey, I've got to do this, I have to do this, I should do this. No, from a place of extreme capacity, right? Okay. So this is really the swagger up kind of philosophy. And, just just a very quick recap is there's an energy about this. I think there's a very powerful energy that each of you certainly embody. And guess what? Your clients want this. I I I I know for sure that there is a swagger deficit out in the world, especially with women and especially with women when they get to a particular age, right? Hormonally, things are changing and perhaps they're not as confident as they used to be. Maybe they're not feeling as well, they're not sleeping as well. Perhaps they're not feeling or connected with their life force energy. So when you are connected, the world will reward you. It's really powerful because success swagger, I think the energy is it's not arrogance, it's not performance. You know, swagger is used, that term, in a lot of different ways, in a lot of rap videos, in a lot of Westerns. There's like that masculine swagger we talked about on day one. We are not that, okay? We're energetic authenticity and motion. We're doing things. And the energy of, hey, like I belong here and I'm ready for more. I'm ready to show up. I'm ready to serve without losing myself, of course. And of course, it's embodying, as we've talked about before, calm confidence, credibility, and commanding without apology. Okay. So just a quick little recap. Thank you. Is so success swagger is really what we're living into, right? It's your future self and it's embodied in the present. I love this because I get to take a moment and think about, all right, what's my future self? What is she telling me? And I think I'm working on a little bit of a name for my future self, but I think it's confident Kathleen, extra confident Kathleen, confident in the future, confident in the choices that I'm making, confident and calm that everything that I'm doing things for a purpose and that all is well. So start to think about during our time together is what could be the name of your future self? And maybe it's just an adjective or an adverb associated with your name. And so we want to start to name her because we want to be able to bring her in with a deep breath and be able to bring her in, almost like call upon her in moments when you need to have a little bit of clarity, you need to have a little confidence boost, you need to have a pep talk, that type of thing. Good. Comments, questions, anything you're thinking about? Do you like this idea?
Okay,
Yeah,
I gotta
jump
say,
in, please.
in some ways, I've always had her with me, and it's the simplicity of my initials, SKY. So I have used
Yes.
Sky for a lot of times as my signature tie-in to things, and
Yeah.
the fact that the sky is unlimited, the sky is, you know, big, it's out there. Uh, it's unknown at times, but I've always used that. And when, people early on thought, why would you keep your name? I was like, because there's power in, I'll always be younger and I have the sky to, embrace. So I don't see myself creating a future because I've always kind of felt like she was there.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Love that. Love that. Love that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. Yes. Can others think about or kind of have a little inkling about how you want to refer to her? Again, she's not like another person. It's an aspect of you. It's a part of you that we can invoke upon and connect with all of your sources and your resources that you have. But I just want to mention that this is an opportunity to kind of think about and kind of click into, oh, okay, there's a part of me, there's more as a remembering of, okay, there's an aspect of me that remembers the right thing to do for me right now or the best thing, right? As opposed to, um, you know, ladies, that we've all got the forgetter mechanism, right? We forget things. And in moments of when we're in shock, parasympathetic, we're paralyzed, or we have sympathetic shock, we kind of want to race and get things done, blah, 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 blah. In states of stress or shock, we sometimes forget, right? Who we truly are or our future self. Yes, yeah. So be thinking about this. And of course, jump in, questions, comments, observations, declarations are very powerful, right? Declarations, because the universe and the world are listening, right? To your declaration. Okay, great. All right. So let's jump in because I want to ask your future self some questions so we can put together and start thinking about some planning here. Okay. Now, by the way, after our time together, I'm going to send you in email your Swagger Up playbook. Okay. So this is a playbook that you can start filling in. It's going to be a fillable PDF that you could start using to answer some of these questions and or even more. And by the way, feel free, use one of your coaching calls to we can actually go through your playbook. And Cece, I'm delighted to gift you, and Karen Blunt delighted to gift you. And when you're watching the replay, delighted to gift you with a 30-minute session to go through it. Okay. So we can go through your playbook. But some questions today that we're going to be able to take with us. Okay. So some answers to these questions. And love to give you a little bit of writing time to think about this, just some pondering time. You don't need to write it down or type it down. If you want to, great. No need, no pressure here. But your future self, we want to define what's the destination? Where are you going in your vision? Where are you going? Like, what's the destination of your becoming? Wow. The destination of your becoming. Pretty powerful question there. The destination. Again, like, it's not like we're going to get there and then we're like, okay, I'm done. No, it's like, but the destination of your becoming. Example of the destination is to be in a, you know, happy place, living in this particular area in the country, living in this kind of home environment, having this kind of office environment, working with these kinds of clients, doing this kind of work. So I'm just going to give you, I'm going to put on a little timer for about a minute and a half of some thought process, okay? And I'm going to keep it really simple. Normally I would put on some writing music, but I think I want to keep it really simple just to keep the Wi-Fi happy. And I'll just put on our little timer. And so about a minute and a half thinking about with your future self, where do you want to go? Where's the destination? And if you wanted to, you could move on to question number 2, which is thinking about your future self and you start to think about what is she known for? Who does she serve? Who are the clients, the patients, the people in her life, the community? And what are some of the results that she delivers? Could be something like, hey, more confidence, more calmness, more communication, more XYZ. Okay. So we don't want to, get into kind of like the tactical stuff at this point, but just a big picture. So let me put on the questions are on the screen, and I'm going to just put on a quick little timer so that we can go in and we can go ahead and just take about a minute and a half thinking about these questions. Okay. All right. Okay. How about maybe another 10 seconds or so? And then thinking about this aspect of your future self, this question at the very, very bottom. This is so important and so powerful to think about your future self. Let's just act as if your future self, that most powerful part of you, or whatever adjective you want to use, or adverb, or description, is when she's running your week, when you're operating from your highest self, your future self, what is it that you are focused on? What are you focused on? Okay. I know that my future self, she wants to do bigger planning. She wants to work on bigger projects, and she does not want to work on the small minutia, like working in the business so much. She wants to be working on the business with bigger things, bigger opportunities, right? Yeah. What about for you? What do you see as the destination of where you're becoming? What do you want your world to look like as your future self? What do you want to focus on? Jump right in. And by the way, your playbook's going to have all these questions so you can work on these at another time as well. We're just getting a little taste here. Yeah. Yeah. Jump right in.
So my future self will spend more time on people relationships and
Ooh, beautiful.
maybe a little bit less time on writing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you so much. Right? Yeah.
I'm with Carol. I would work more on creating deeper relationships, and
Yeah.
for me, being visible
Beautiful.
and present, sort of out in the world more so than being, shut in my house.
Yeah.
I'm pretty isolated. I live in a really small town in Nebraska, so but I need to be more visible, especially on social and things like that, which I have not been.
Yeah. It's okay. Good. It's good. Yeah. Good. Susan, thoughts? Angela, thoughts? Karen, thoughts? Jump in.
My
Yeah.
future self is going to push the right button. Um,
So you're already living into it. Okay, great. Great.
you know, I'd like to get to the point where I can spend a lot more time planning and coordinating and less time implementing. If I can
Absolutely.
outsource implementation, that'll be good.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Great. Great. Thank you, Angela. Susan, thoughts? Your future self.
My future self will have an environment around her that she's happy with, not looking at it going, what else do I need to clean up? Be it the yard, the house, whatever. But
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. Got it.
but that really supports me so that as I'm working, I enjoy the environment that I'm in. And that
Yeah.
uh, the larger scale opportunities are coming and chasing me instead of me chasing them.
Oh, outstanding.
Mm.
Excellent. Wow. And by the way, if you like aspect of one of your sister's future self, you can claim that for yourself too, right? Yeah, 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 exactly. Okay, good. Fabulous. Okay. So then thinking about, again, what's the quote unquote the destination, the journey that we're going for? And I love this idea is we get to embody her before we technically arrive at the result. Okay, so we don't have to wait to become our future self, our confident Kathleen version, your version of whatever your future self is, whomever she is. We don't have to like become her, have all of the fruits of our hard work when we technically arrive, because all of this positioning, it starts with, I believe, the embodiment of her, embodiment of your future self. And we know that people feel and sense your energy, I think, even before your expertise. Before you come into a Zoom room, people get your presence, they get your positioning, they get everything about you before, before you even say anything, right? And so I'm curious for all of us. I think this is part of being more of who we really are and
Mhm.
letting go of the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. Okay, there are things that do not serve us, all right? And so I'm just curious for you as part of this whole process, what is there a thought or a habit? A thought or a habit that you want to release, that you just want to release, let go of, or maybe even consider releasing or letting go of as you're moving into your next identity, your future self? Is there one thing, again, you don't have to declare it out loud, but I'm releasing, I'm just declaring out loud, I'm releasing overthinking, overthinking, right? It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. Letting go of overthinking and replacing it with more decisive, confident action. Because my confident future self, she doesn't have time for overthinking. So taking confident actions is part of what I'm stepping into. So releasing and then being able to claim as well. Your thoughts, if you want to jump in and declare, would love to give you the visibility and support you, of course. Anything come
Releasing
to mind for you?
clutter.
Go ahead, please.
I'm
Carol, I'm
going
sorry, forgive
to,
me.
no problem. I am releasing clutter and claiming my full space of my office as a clutter-free zone. So what you see in back of me is intentional, but the rest of this stuff that accumulates, that is not so much. So
Yes,
working on
beautiful. And you're confident your future self, that would just not be something that she'd want. Is she just doesn't need extra stuff, right? She wants to have order. And so like creating is, what is your future self like? She wants to have this, and this in her environment, right? So we get to operate from that. Okay, well, guess what? I could start maybe clearing a stack today or whatever it
yeah.
is. And that kind gives us energy in the moment, right? Is living into that future self gives us energy and focus into the present. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. All right.
You
We're
know,
supporting you, knew that, and
yeah.
supporting you, Susan. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Anyone else jumping in?
I'm releasing running my business based on the pressures of the moment.
Ooh, powerful. Powerful. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Uh, let's give a little sparkle. Who else can be aligned with Angela's? Yes, exactly. Angela, we are all raising our hands, loving what you just said, dear. Great. Yeah.
Just
So,
too much firefighting and not enough 30,000 foot view planning.
yes, yes. So when you release that, what can you replace it with?
Long-term thinking, um, you know, being in a position where when I release something or launch something or post something, it's not for the purpose of getting money right now. It's for the purpose of creating a sustainable offer that I can adapt and scale.
Beautiful.
Um,
Yeah. Balancing the long game is what I'm hearing, balancing the long game with, hey, the short game as
yeah,
well, but a long game approach, right?
yeah. I mean, there's two games. I mean, we do play a short game, right? That's why we well, some of us don't, but some of us have day jobs. That's day jobs are a short game thing. Um, day jobs pay the mortgage and put food on the table and all that good stuff. Until the business gets to the point where you don't need a day job anymore. But in terms of the business, I need to treat it like a long term solution rather than, oh my god, I need to have $150 webinar so I can pay next month's. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yes, great insight. Because notice how this is perfect because you're leading us right into our next distinction. is that kind of mindset, Angela, and for all of us, that kind of mindset, that kind of energy is a way that the market can kind of experience us in that longer game, so to speak, that more calm, confident energy and mindset, where people don't feel like rushed to make a decision or feel people don't feel pressured. They feel more of like an invitation kind of energy. And at the same time, maybe we don't declare out, to our prospects out in the world, you know, like, hey, I mean, and I'm just saying this, hey, I went through this as well. I went through this 25 years ago, is I didn't quite tell the world, hey, I'm still working in my day job kind of thing. I mean, I maintain my integrity Monday through Friday with my job. The weekends were mine, the evenings were mine. And at the same time, I just, I embodied my future self, which was she was a woman who owned her own successful business, her coaching and consulting business. And I worked with corporate clients. Here's what I offered. So, like, embodying that future self made it so aligned with the thing that people were saying yes to with my business, that they never even stopped to think, is she still got a job kind of thing. I just made it all work, right? So that future self is so important for all of us, right? Making decisions from her perspective. And of course, your future self doesn't not say, hey, don't worry about the mortgage. Hey, you don't know. She says, like, listen, you've got this. We just need to plan a little bit more. We need to let go of the stuff that's just not working. We need to focus on the important things that are going to move us forward, right? The few things that will make the biggest difference. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And Angela, beautiful, brilliant. And anyone else, a declaration of what you feel like you want to let go of? How can you fully embody and express this aspect of your future self, right? And have people experience this even more? It's amazing, just letting go of the old energy and embracing the new is going to it's going to cause a pattern interrupt here for sure. Yeah. Any comments, questions, observations?
So I'm releasing and doing business and marketing the way others think I should, because a lot of it doesn't
Ah,
me and with my good demographic. So that's what I'm doing.
brilliant, 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 brilliant. Yes. And that is certainly your truth, isn't it, CC? That's your truth. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Modeling the way, modeling the way. Congratulations. That's great. Great, great, great. Susan, anything you want to jump in on at before we move forward? Some thoughts about, hey, what do we need to release and embrace to move to our next future self state?
I feel like I kind of mentioned it when I said releasing clutter, making sure
Yes,
everything around
absolutely.
me
Yeah.
creates that
Yeah.
environment that truly supports me to to be that I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, thank you. And I think perhaps maybe just putting a footnote on here is the other thing is to think about for yourself is, what are you tolerating? What are you putting up with? What are the standards that now, hey, again, there's no blame game here. There's unconditional regard for each of all of us, but it's like, I think that for me, there's a standard of something that I was putting up with or tolerating that I just have to let go of, and I'm letting go of. And it could even be a toleration or a standard of, I have to overthink every decision. I need to check into 5 different sources. I need to, clutter, confusion, drama, all that stuff. And it could be from external sources, ladies, external sources that generate that kind of stuff inside of us, just to create a boundary around you of whatever you want, right?
And and
Your
I think
future
part of
self.
that
Yeah, please
is
jump in.
is the willingness to say it's it's not an immediate solution. It's like when you said, what are you doing in 20 minutes to try and start something? I can announce that last weekend I bought 2 bookcases that are still sitting in the back seat of my car, because I'm going to move a table from one room to another room to make better space next to my desk for things that have been piled up on that table instead of put away in a way that serves me better. Now I got half of that stuff moved out, which has made my dog unhappy because he can't be at my feet. I piled it under the desk for the moment. And maybe tomorrow I will get to some of that stuff. However, I have not been beating myself up over the fact that what might have taken me a day in the past may take me a week or two this time. And it's because I'm still staying focused on what needs to be done for business, but recognizing what I need to do to make business better in the future.
Beautiful, beautiful. Great. Thank you, Susan. Yes. And reminding ourselves that guess what? We get to say how all this goes. It's our lives. We get to say how this goes. And you ladies are an extraordinary group of women. You just certainly are. You're a group of women that shows up on a Saturday. You keep showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up. And we've chosen to be the leaders of our lives and our movements. And so it takes something extraordinary. You wouldn't be here today if you were not wanting more for your life and wanting more for the life for others. So therefore, and at the end of the day, hey, it's not like we have, we've got agents. We're not at the point where we've got a celebrity agent that's running our calendar and running our lives or whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, we get to ultimately, we've got all this freedom and independence. What a gift, right? To say how we want things to go. So yeah, okay, good. So let's start moving into some completion here, but I think it's important to think about as well is how we want to show up in this next week, okay? To be thinking about, okay, here's my future self. Here's where I want to start moving towards. Here's kind of some ideas and plans about what I want to bring out to the world. Maybe it's a launch of something. Maybe it's a new project, something for 2025. We're at such a beautiful point in the season here in 2025 fall that we get this great opportunity to seasonally change. Susan and I were talking earlier about the time change, right? We can use the seasons. We can use Mother Nature to help us make these shifts, which is really good. And perhaps you can use this to feel the energy of what's happening in the world, not to be like so in it, so to speak, but to be of it kind of thing. And then leading yourself to a place where you want to be and leading your communities, right? So spending some time to do some thinking, do some planning, and thinking about the questions that I will have in the playbook for you is what do you want to be known for? What do you want to deliver? What's moving you forward in the way of a project? And of course, how can you position yourself in the right place with the right people at the right time with the right message and to be able to meet the moment, as we always talk about, right? And letting go of the things that don't serve you anymore. So this weekend is such a beautiful contemplative time. And this next time, especially with our Thanksgiving holiday coming up, doing all of this with such gratitude and grace, right? Of what kind of picture do you want to paint for yourself for this next year? Yes. And what do we need to let go of? Okay. All right. So one of the final things that I want to mention to you is, the body of work that I'm really passionate about is creating the category of one. And part of the category of one is claiming the space we have in the world. And how do we do it? Well, we got to swagger up. One of the aspects of this is also thinking from our future self, acting from our future self, making plans from our future self's perspective. So I think I mentioned yesterday, I'm in the process of creating some really, really powerful, super spectacular, impossible goals. Technically, impossible goals with an impossible time frame to call me forward to think bigger, act bigger, do bigger things, and at the same time, nurture and care for and love the people that I'm already serving as well, but to play a bigger game and call forward those who want to do it as well. So to do those kinds of things, but think from where I'm at, it's not working. It doesn't work for me. So I have to get into a mode of, all right, my future self, I've got to really, I want to work on crafting her more. I want you to do this too, if you'd like to. Think from her. And then from that higher self, we start to think about, okay, how would I create a community of 7,500 women? How, from that higher self, how would I do these kinds of things? How would I attract partners to help? How would I have team members help? But from where I'm at right now, I'm projecting and thinking about old ways of how to do it, but invoking your future self. Now, again, this is a way. It takes some practice. It also takes a partner to help you do this, and a great coach, as you know. Okay, and a community that's going to help you. So thinking about how do you accomplish things from your future self, also thinking globally and more powerfully and less transactionally. Okay. And we talk all the time about how to create a movement. This is really about creating a global movement, not just the next program or not just the next course or not just the next thing, right? And so thinking about your future self, she's a big, big, big thinker, right? She wants to think about how she can create a ripple effect and have the effect impact people not only around the world, but through generations, right? That is an exciting place to plan. Great. Comments, questions, anything that you're thinking about? Okay, great.
You
So,
know,
and by the way, all these will be in your playbook. Jump in, Angela.
go
Thank
ahead.
you. Yes.
Go ahead. I'm not cutting line, am I?
No, no, no. Come right in, girl.
Okay,
Come
good.
right in because we're going to wind down here in the next couple minutes.
I'm a pragmatist,
Yes,
and
I know you are. We
I
know
am
that.
I'm thinking about all my projects and all the things that we've worked on and all the things that I'm working on with other people and just all the things. And it is really hard for me to get away from transactional thinking. I was taking a course this morning because that's what I do when I'm up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday for no particular reason. And it involved looking at a website and finding various things about it and taking a quiz, right? So I gave the website the most cursory of looks, said, all right, I got this, took the quiz, flunked it. And I had to step back and ask myself, is your objective to learn this material or is your objective to get through the course? And I was saying, I was doing this with an eye toward getting through the course. Check one box, check the other box, check the other box. But, I need to tell myself, slow down, step back, sometimes taking the long way. You might not get there. You might get there, it might take you more time to get there, but you pick up more treasures along the way.
And Angela, these are beautiful future self questions, right? And in your playbook, I'm going to have a whole list of great questions that you can use. And one of the great questions, this is so important what you're bringing up, Angela, because for all of us, and we're going to wind down here in the next couple minutes, is how do we get more leverage on ourselves? How do we be able to, when we're in the busy doing something that we know it's like, okay, this is in the weeds, this is not going to really help, or whatever it may be, right? It's maybe an old habit, something that we're doing, and to be able to do a pattern interrupt and stop ourselves or pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and be able to say, okay, is this the best use of my time? Will this move me forward? Am I doing this for satisfaction right now in the moment? Or is this going to help move me forward? Or is it going to move me backward? Whatever the key questions are for us to be able to get leverage on ourselves and our time, because all of this is impossible if we still operate from the things that have kept us where, the maybe some habits that don't work for us, right? Because this is an expansion project, right? We've been fortifying our foundation. And Susan, you know this from architecture, is you got to have a firm foundation. But if you want to rise like a skyscraper or expand into bigger space, you've got, the things, we've got to have new methodologies. We've got to have new structure. We've got to have new visions, kind of thing, and a plan, right? Yeah. Yes. So I think some takeaways as we complete are to think about, hey, like a little audit for yourself is what's your biggest next step? And so maybe this weekend you could be thinking about, okay, well, from my future self perspective, what's the next big play? What's the next big thing that I want to work on? And it could be like in fulfillment of a successful program. Could be, I want to start, I want to do it, I want to launch X, Y, and Z, or I want to build that bookcase, or whatever it may be, right? So, what is the thing that you want to be focusing in on in this next week? Okay. And, this next week, this next couple weeks, in this next season in your life, what's the next project that I want to work on? We're not talking about 2026 planning because that's going to be another program we're going to have in our Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. But I'm just talking about like literally now in the game for this upcoming week. Let's just focus on this next upcoming week. Is is there a bold action, something bold that will change things for you this week? Like it's a major decluttering of something that you can clear the energy in your place, you can whatever. It's like, what thing can you do and commit to? No dabbling, ladies. There's just no dabbling here. It's like I'm suggesting one bold action that will clear for you this week. Okay? And your future self is she's going to say, "You go, girl," plus an additional 6 words. Yes. You go, girl. I'm so happy with you. I'm so proud of you, right? That you could look back and say, you know what? I used this weekend or this week to take a bold action. I got the momentum and the energy going and I took action. Okay. So is there something that comes to mind? Because we're gonna wind down here. Is your future self, she takes action. She contemplates, she thinks, she plans, she strategizes, she asks for help. She's bold, but she also takes action.
All right. So for me, it is really moving forward with a humanitarian. I've already met with Cece this morning on the landing page for the December 16th. I've been strategizing about announcements while looking at Mercury retrograde begins tomorrow, I think it is. Looking at the gates in human design and what their focus is to try and make sure that the messages I put out align with the energy of the day, the week, to really create that alignment with what the world is energetically with any time I'm doing it, and then be able to read how that comes to fruition when we do something on the 16th.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And we will stand with you and stand by you and support you in this. Fantastic. Great. Good, good, good. Love it. You have a movement that's ready to be birthed, dear. Yeah. Fantastic. Good. Thank you. Carol, how about you? Is there a bold action that's calling you this week? Angela 2, CC 2, a bold action.
So I am going to really work on a pile today.
Great.
And
Yay.
yeah, well, it's just so interesting to think, to look around and say, well, if I were truly the great person that I'd like people to think I am, I would not have these piles here. They would be orderly. So I'm going to do that. And the other thing that I'm thinking about is changing my business title from president to CEO.
Excellent. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Let's go. Wow. That's a bold action, both of those, yes. And would a CEO of her own growing enterprise business, global business, would she have stacks of stuff, or whatever? Or a stack of
Well,
things or whatever?
I say
No,
she wouldn't. No.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
not
have
have a
And
shame,
I say
blame,
she
whatever.
would.
Yeah, good on you. Okay, we're sparkling for you, Carol. This is fabulous, right? And what I love to do is I love to put on some fun music. I love to set a plan. It's like, okay, by the end of the day, I'm going to work on this. Focus. I'm going to bring joy and fun, whatever it is for you. Joy and fun and vision of like, hey, we're clearing this out. My future self, she needs space. She needs creative space. Boom. Good. Excellent. Carol, loving this. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Cece, how about for you? What are some thoughts about what you'd like to work on this week?
For me, my project of decluttering started last week, and so my completion is this weekend, and that's my goal for this weekend. And I like to think about it, and I'm doing it for me, not for what everybody else would think of me. And
Perfect.
and
Perfect.
I know that thinking like, oh, what would others think would, is a good, it's a good impetus. But I'm the creator of my world,
That's
not
right.
anybody
Yes, you
else.
are.
So,
Yes, that's it.
and
That's
that's
it.
I'm
Yeah.
really standing for that in now, and it comes out of being in service to everybody else for a good part of my life. So
Yes.
it's the evolution, I believe, of becoming a self-creator instead of a creator for others.
Excellent. And guess what? You get to say how it goes, girl, right? You get to say how it goes. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, we're sparkling for you. Yay. Angela, wrap us up, bring us home. In a bottom
Well,
line, what are you working on this week, girl?
I guess I'll be doing some decluttering of a different kind. Because by the
Okay,
end
I
of
love it.
next weekend, I'm going to declutter my website. Um,
All
I'm
right.
going to
Me too.
remove the
That's what I'm working on.
sidebar, which I'm told
Good.
is visually distracting. Um,
Okay.
I'm going to have a central point of focus on the homepage. I'm
Great.
going to look at some of the verbiage and see if it fits my new messaging. I'm just going to make it, it's right now, it's like a smorgasbord from disorganized chaos.
Yeah.
And I want to turn it into an instrument of purpose.
Excellent. All right. We're standing with you, lady. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, great. So let's complete. Oh my goodness. Hey, I'm just curious as we complete our time, I would love to know in a word or a phrase, just asking for you, remembering that, what's your biggest takeaway from our time together? What's your biggest takeaway, either from today or from our 3-day challenge, whatever comes to you, like a word or a phrase. And I love to like just get it right down, like to bottom line it and thinking about a word or phrase, even a word or phrase that you can use as some momentum, right?
Clear the
Smart,
chaos.
small moves. Yep. We don't need a whole new strategy or whatever, just a bottom line like movement. So take the action you need to take. And what's your biggest takeaway from our time together? Jump right in. Thank you. Your biggest takeaway. I love to put bookends on things. I love this. Yes. Carol, jump in. Thank you.
So my one word is reset, because that's
Ooh,
just such
Very
a
good.
fabulous frame of mind.
yes,
And
it is. Yes.
I don't know what else we were supposed to say, but that was
That's
what I
okay.
had in mind when I first heard your question. But then you asked
Thank
three
you.
more.
I know, and I stack them up. I just do it. I just stack questions. That's just my thing there. Yep, yeah. Perfect. Reset. Oh my gosh, excellent. Yes, very powerful. Yes. Thank you. I said word or phrase, whatever. I don't want to limit anyone. Yes. Yeah. Who else? Your word or phrase from our challenge from today, your whole experience, whatever it is. Jump right in. Yeah, thank you. Driven, love
Yeah.
it, live it. Yes, yeah. And Susan, you drive so many people around in your life. You drive people around. You chauffeur so many people in your life. And it's also time that we're going to help drive you, right? We're going to help support you and driven. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Anyone else? Word or phrase as we complete?
Clear the chaos.
Clear the chaos. Love it. We love that for you. Great, great, great. Good.
And I love that
Good, good,
Cece
good.
put in the chat, let's get visible.
That's right. Let's do it. It's our time. It's our time. Okay, great. Ladies, thank you, thank you, thank you. What a joy to be with you. I've loved every second of this challenge. It's been so much fun. Hey, it's our time. Let's go out. Let's be more visible. Let's be more driven. Let's have a reset. Let's clear the chaos. Let's be more confident and let's get busy. Okay? Lots of love to you. Have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you very soon. Okay? Mwah. Love for now. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Love being with all of you ladies.
Good to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Mwah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.